Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I will make a video about how to crochet from corner to corner. You can do any size, like you can do square one, you can do rectangle, you can make very big, very big as this one, like as a big like rectangle you can get it. You can making it, and or the size like a little bit smaller. And this yarn it's a double knit. Previous it's on iron yarn. It's bigger. It's a thicker yarn. This one it's a double knit. It's not too thick. It's a thinner yarn, like a lightweight yarn. So I will show you how you can do from a corner. You started from one corner, going all the way on the lines and finish another corner. So I will gonna show you how to do. So what you will need a yarn, your choice. You will need a hook. You will need again scissors to cut your yarn, and most probably you will need a darning needle to get your that yarn weaving. And another one, it's a very handy cool tool. You can have it. It's those um, stitch markers. So it's in a corner when you are, as you're increasing, your works get bigger and bigger. You see, your works get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you are like increasing, and when you are decreasing, those little things can be very very handy. So that's like and let's go. And you can do the square like this one in here, or you can do rectangle. It's kind of like as big as you like it. So it's the most important thing in this one, like pattern. It's all repeats, and it's to know how to increase and then decrease. So it just kind of wears in a rectangle. So you just kind of first you have to think, so how many how many is that wide you want it. For example, how like wide you want. So it depends, like and you also it's kind of it will be like a square like that, like and then one side will be decreasing, and another side will be increasing. So it just kind of will be goes like that way. And when you reach that required length, then you kind of decreasing both sides at the same time, okay? And then you meet in a corner. So and it's all makes like like a small squares in here. You see, it's a small square in here, small square in here, and it's all like a clusters. Yes, it's like kind of cluster. It's just kind of like small squares. So I will show you how you can do those one. How you increasing when you required your work, your length and width. Then you are decreasing. So let's begin. So first you take your yarn, but yeah, you required yarn, but like no, you like it. So as this one I have in here, it's actually double knit. So and required hook size as well. So it's 4 millimeter for me in here. So now we are making slip stitch. So how I actually do, take my working yarn in here, then you're making a loop and put over your working yarn so that a small tail is in here and working. Then put over there, and from a middle you can put through. That's how I do, and I found this one is very easy for me, and I hope it helps you as well. Then you make a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In a fourth chain, you making double crochet. It's in US and UK, it will be treble. And a lot people taking a first stitch what's in here on the top, but I like it. It's gonna in a back. You see that in the back you have a loop. So I like do in a back loop, okay? But it's your preference. And you're making double crochet or treble in UK yarn over your hook, pull yarn through, yarn through, and yarn through. So that you have two. So you have a chain what's in here, and so far you made in the top of two chains you make a two double crochet in a third chain on the top. Okay, you can go in here, yes, it's all up to you, but I like to do in a back loop. Okay, pull yarn through, so you have three loops on your hook. In US it will be double crochet, and UK it will be treble. So pull yarn through and pull yarn through. So that is your first square. You see that square it's in here? That is your first square, small one, square one, like or in this one, you just this one first square up here. So now we're going next one. So now do for increase, you're doing a chain of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, chain of 6. Now in a fourth chain from a hook, you're doing double crochet. In US and UK it will be treble. On the back loop, that's how I like to do. If you like on the front, on the top loop, you can do. It's your choice. You making double crochet in US, treble crochet in UK. So it's 1. On the next one, double crochet in US, UK it's a treble, and a third one. Double crochet in US and UK it's a treble. So you end up like that, okay? So how I like to do, I take that one, put up here, and pull like that one. So that chain of 3 loop on this one stands at top. On this one you making slip stitch. You are connecting those two small squares together. Now you're making one more, that small square, like a cluster. It looks like a square. It's a small square cluster. Chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. And on this chain space, you making 3 double crochet. It's US, UK, it's treble. So you have 3 of them in here, okay? So now we are increasing, like making like bend up like kind of V stitch, yes, like a V looks like, So we are increasing. For increasing, you need chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In a fourth of chain from a hook, you making double crochet. You can do it in here on the top loop, but I like it on the really in the back. You see it's in the back one in here. I like do over there. You making 1 double crochet in US, UK it is treble. And next two ones, like next two chains, 1, 2, yes, you doing double crochet, okay? Double crochet it's in the US, UK it's a treble. 2 and last one. It's kind of in the last one in here. You can see, you can take this one in here if you like do on a like top of that V stitch on a top, you can do that. But I like to take in a back loop. It's like no back loop, it's in here. So I like do in a back loops. So you end up like that, okay? You have a chain of 3 in here and 3 double crochet, or treble in US, in a treble treble will be in UK. Then you turn, like no, keep that straight in here, and that work you just kind of turning, sorry, turning, and on the top of this one you make a slip stitch. So it's kind of like you have a chain what's in here, and then it's kind of 3 double crochet, or treble in UK, double it's in US. So now in here, next one, chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you make 3 double crochet, or UK it will be 3 treble. So you have 3 double crochet US, 3 treble crochet in UK. So you have a chain in here. So you're making, connecting with next, like a small square one or cluster. So connect with a slip stitch. Now you're making chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're making 3 more double crochet in US, UK it's a treble crochet in that chain space. That's increasing you, and then you can go as long as you like it. It can be a small one, it can be bigger and bigger, so it's all about. While I'm in here, I will show you how I actually color change, like in the next row. I snipping yarn and I pulling that yarn over, okay? I'm taking next color, making slip knot. Remember, I will taking slip knot, pull yarn like that one. That will be slip knot, okay? Then that's how I actually do. You do how you like it, but I will show you how I actually doing it. Then you see it's in here where that yarn came out. I actually kind of putting in those 2 loops like that, taking that new yarn. Just don't make too tight. When it's too tight, so you won't be able to pull your yarn through that loop. So I just kind of make enough, like no same loop size as like no like easy to pull your yarn through. Yes. So pull yarn like that one, and that the slip knot it actually sits right in the middle in here. So as I'm increasing now, I'm making chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then in a 4th chain from a hook, I'm making double crochet. It's US, and UK it will be treble. So I like do in a back loops. So if you like do in a front loop, you can do as well. Like no front loop in here, it's your choice. But I like do in a back loops. So you have a chain and 3 in here, and then the next chains of 3, 1, 2, 3, you making double crochet in US, treble in UK. It's like 1, 2, 3. Then you connect to next corner, okay? So your work stays like that. So you turn the work up here, at the sides, and making a slip stitch on the top. You see those corners in here, yes? Like a corner in here, you're making slip stitch in that corner. Okay, chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you're making next chain 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3 double crochet. In US, UK, it's a treble. Then connect with a in a corner, top corner in here, is it? You see, right in the top in the corner in here. Connect, chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, making 3 double crochet. US, UK, it's a treble crochet in that chain space. So you have a 3 double crochet, US, and 3 treble crochet in UK. Then connect with a corner. So as we are going forward, so we are doing chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. As we are increasing, so we are keep going, like, as long as you can, we got go. That is kind of on till like a side with required side. So that's in here. It will be, for example, you reach that length and a width, like no how like no your side, like a width and a length, you reach it. So now you want decrease. So now you're thinking, so, oh my god, how I can decrease. So for decreasing, turn your work and making a slip stitch on the top of your first double crochet, or that will be treble crochet in UK, double crochet in US. So on the top of each, so you have 3 slip stitches. So now you came to the top of corner, you're making one more slip stitch. So you end up with a 4 slip stitch. Just kind of when you're making slip stitch, try not to make too tight, because when you're making too tight, that work, it's actually kind of like makes kind of rigid. So when it's kind of like try same tension as your your work itself, so then that's how you're starting decreasing, you're decreasing now. Chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. So now you are end up in here, you're a chain from a previous, yes. So you're now making 3 double crochet. It's in the US, and UK it will be treble, and connect to your corner. Now you're making chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet. In US, UK it will be treble crochet, so you have 3 in here. So chain of 3, this one in here, and 1, 2, 3 double crochet in US, and UK it's a treble. And now connect the corner. So now when you want to be square, this one in here, so you have like kind of like you have one left in here, you see, that a small one. So it's last, we will gonna make that one last one, okay? 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet in that chain space, and now connect the corner, okay? So if we want a square one, we will decreasing now in here, yes. If you want a rectangle, like in here, So you will be making one more in here, and you keep going. That is where, like, those stitch markers when you have big work. So it's just kind of, you can like remember which one it's a corner in here. Okay. So by accident you are not going into further, like so it's now we're gonna make a square one. So turning your work now, and then you're making, that remember when you're last, that it's chain of three, then you have a three double crochet in US, or in UK it will be treble. So you have a three in here. So on the top of third one, you see our first one in here, you're doing a slip stitch. So you will be 1, 2, 3 slip stitch on each of top of your double crochet. In US, UK it will be treble, and fourth slip stitch right in a corner in here. Then you're making chain of three. Then you're doing 3 double crochet in US. UK it's a treble crochet in a chain space, and connect to corner. Then you're making chain of three, 1, 2, 3. Then chain 3 double crochet. Okay. Oops. That way. And slip stitch. For example, if you want to change a color to next one, yes, it's as you are doing, like it just kind of one more left in a corner. For in a decrease, when you are changing color, how I actually doing that one, I snap the yarn and pull through. That's how it's actually I end up. So I need to get another color. I take another yarn, making slip knot, and I put on a hook, yes. Then I turn my work, how I actually going backwards, yes. And I'm making like a slip knot on the corner, on the top of corner, okay. And then I'm making chain of three. 1, 2, 3. Then you're making a chain of three, or 3 double crochet in US. UK it will be treble crochet. So you have a chain of 3 in here, 3 double crochet in US, and UK it will be treble crochet on a chain space, and connect to your corner. So as I connect it, like to corner, like a corner, it's finished. So I snap the yarn and pull through like this one. This one, my square, it will be finished. So it's in here how I increase, and in here decrease. Then how that, because I actually, you can stop your video, yes, and do as long you are want, it's easy when you're doing it one color, so you don't need to worry how to change, and then you are kind of being in those ends. So you can go as long as you want, is that a big you or want a blanket. So it just kind of you can go square, you can go rectangle, and that it's kind of like no one color. And when you are changing like no like no yarns, so you can go like no what size or pattern you like it, it's all like no your choice. But that way how I actually pulling inside my yarn, weaving in my ends. So this yarn where it's just kind of I pull through, so it just kind of like no it was with the end up with a V stitch on the top. So I try to put like no I'm not putting back inside same, I actually kind of try to put over that stitch and put on a side, so that's why kind of keeps my work nice. And when you weave a yarn, I try go with zigzags, okay? I go, that side, then I going another side, yes. And then it's kind of like, when you're going back and forth, so I'm just kind of, your yarn, it stays in the same place. It's that the yarn with the slip knot, it's way easier. Even if you're just only like, pull through yarn once, it's okay. But I like, same time, I like kind of do like weaving inside as well, okay, weaving zigzags. When you're doing zigzags, that yarn stays in a place, it doesn't get so easily out, okay. So that's kind of like, you see, it's just kind of like no yarn in here, and it's kind of like, I don't have any lumps that when you're going zigzag. And so that way you can be, oh, yeah, like, for example, when it's last, when you are finishing here, yes, so I weave yarn inside, I will, so. And I really like that corner to corner that it's kind of like no, it's at work. Seems like no, it's very nice for beginning, like no when you are started, and that when you are doing the work and it's kind of like no, it seems going very fast because that zigzag moment you when you are doing it, so you just kind of like no. This one. It's kind of like no, you don't notice how fast that it's kind of it can go. Whereas that when you're going in a lines from one line, when you're going, for example, when you crochet from this one or this one, it can like no can be very tiring. Sometimes it can be boring. But as you're going like no diagonal, because you're how you actually turning your work, it's can like no be very kind of like no interesting how it's kind of how fast you can do your work, okay. That's how I actually do. And if you're interested how many yarns I used for this project, look for a next video that I will make it, so. And hoping it helps you how to do like work from one place to another place, and kind of keep going.